What up folks, Graphics Rogue here, and I'm back to show you a little update we've had in the Rome 2 universe. And by little update, I mean big update. We've got the Emperor Edition has just been released. The Emperor Edition is basically a big patch, adding in a whole bunch of new content and balances and other patching stuff, bug debugs and whatnot to the base game of Rome 2. And it's basically free for everyone who already has Rome 2. If you don't, it'll probably... Well, no, it won't be a DLC, because all the Rome 2 people will buy after this will be the Emperor Edition, so it's kind of free anyway. But yeah, this is the Emperor Edition. First thing we'll see is the UI has had a lot of changes. I like the look of it a lot. It's got a lot of white marbly and goldish kind of look to it. It's a whole new kind of imperial Roman gold marble look, and I really love it. I love the whole opening UI and the UI it has in the game. Another big thing it had in this patch is a big multiplayer. Patch. All these units, these units here, they're all useful for something. They're all useful for something, even the lowliest hoplites, because they can hold the ground. Basically, the multiplayer balances is a whole different beast than what it was before. Every unit holds for so much longer. Every unit has more health. Most units, even the crappiest unit you have, can pin down an enemy unit for long enough for your cavalry to swing around and just smash them from behind. So that's a big part of the new patch 15 that has pretty much just changed the whole multiplayer landscape. I haven't gotten too deep into it yet, but it looks really good. I like how they changed things around. I like how shock cavalry is basically shock cavalry. You send them in there to destroy some enemies on the charge, but you need to pull them out quickly or else they're gonna die pretty bad. I love how hoplites are very useful now. Hoplites were basically crap before. They just get destroyed by any sword. Now they still get destroyed by swords, but it takes a long time, and that's how it should be. Hoplites should last longer, and I've got a whole bunch of other little tweaks and balances that just change the whole multiplayer game, and I like it a whole lot. Another thing we see with this Emperor Edition is a whole lot of color changes. I'm not sure how much I like this, but a lot of the colors for a lot of the factions, everything seems washed out. They washed some things out. I like some stuff, I don't like others. I don't know. I know it's a preference thing, but they just washed out a whole lot of colors. They don't look as bright and in your face as they did before. Egypt is not bright blue. It's like a washed out blue, and Macedon isn't black anymore. It's purple. I would rather it be black, actually. I like black Macedon. It's kind of like an EB, how that is. We've got a whole bunch of cool stuff. We got Syracuse. They were already there. But another thing, they've changed the color of Pontus to this blue-green kind of look, and I like that. I like blue-green Pontus better than yellow Pontus. They've drowned out the colors in Parthia. They're a lot blander than they were. They were like bright purple before. Whole lot of color changes and a lot of different stuff. Some cool, some preferences, but I don't know. I don't know how much I like them watering down all the colors. They've got a new Imperator Augustus campaign, which takes place during the second triumvirate between Lepidus, Octavian, and Anthony. And a little side character of Pompey's son, who I didn't even know he was still kicking around in this era, but apparently Pompey's son still had some power, so they added him in there to be a little trump card, just come out of nowhere. He comes out of nowhere while everybody else is fighting. He's like, "Hey guys, what's going on? I'm gonna make the Republic." They're like, "What? Pompey?" And then he just takes over. I don't know. But we've got Lepidus, the sad sap Lepidus, who got pushed out of everything when Octavian and Mark Antony were doing this shit. We got Octavian, who becomes Emperor Augustus. We got my boy Mark Antony! Yeah, I love Antony. Antony's so boss. I shall not rise from this bed until I fucked something. HBO's Anthony. Rest in peace. Mark Antony. I don't know how cool the real Mark Antony was, but James Pufoy's Mark Antony was so cool. But yeah, I'm Antony all day long. We got Parthia, they're drowned out stuff, but they're a lot more powerful than they were in the Grand Campaign because they conquered a whole bunch of stuff. Seleucids don't exist anymore. We got Armenia, they're now a client state of Antony. Egypt's a client state as well. Antony's got a whole lot of client states, more than any of the other factions, I think. Egypt is there. They're pretty much just chilling under Antony's protection. Got the Britannians, we got the Iceni. They're going to still be there to try to conquer Britannia. We got the Marcomanni. I like the Marcomanni. I wish the Marcomanni were in the Grand Campaign because, you know, I'd know them. I don't really know the Suebi. I know the Marcomanni from history. I don't know much about the Suebi. I don't know why they were added and not the Marcomanni or the Cimbri, which I think the Cimbri should have been the ones to be the German unit the German faction we play. Thought that would be pretty cool. But yeah, they've all got their little pros and cons. The military underdogs for Lepidus, the barbarian subduers for Octavian, disdain for the plebs from Antony. Since when did Antony disdain the plebs? The power struggle for Pompey, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. This whole Grand Campaign changes a whole lot of cool stuff and does a whole bunch of interesting. It's really fun. I've been having a lot of fun with this campaign, and I'm gonna go into my campaign I was doing earlier, and we'll see just what kind of changes they've been doing to the map and the UI and everything. So I'm gonna see you there. And welcome to the campaign, folks. Here's my boy Mark Antony. Yeah, looking like a badass with his badass helmet. He's getting ready to put down a coming rebellion here in Arsamosata. They're not liking Roman rule too much, but we're gonna change that. We're gonna put down that little rebellion. Then we're gonna move Antony's army down south to help my girl Cleopatra out and take out these Ethiopians who've been invading southern Egypt. I'm gonna take out these Ethiopians and just keep moving and conquer all of Ethiopia in the name of Rome and for the glory of Mark Antony. Still pisses me off that I can't just take these settlements here and give them to Egypt. I want to just take them and sell them to Egypt. I don't know why CA won't let me sell fucking settlements. I want to create the map how I want to create it. It's starting to piss me off. But yeah, we got the whole new settlement map, and as we see right here, there's a whole lot of different UI changes. I love the currency, the predicted income. It's just the colors. They changed a lot of the little colors up, and it's more stands out at you, and it makes things easier to see, easier to get a hold of with your eyes, with your eyes and your mind. You know, it just pops out at you more. I like a lot of the stuff they did on the UI. Let's look at this. Wait, yeah. Galatium, the Eastern, Hellenic, and all the colors are different. It all pops out at you. I really like how they did that. And it seems like all the factions, all the settlements have got a lot of new buildings in the building trees. We got a village, we got a marble settlement quarry. We've got some cool stuff in Syria. We got some vineyards, some vineyards. We got Tyrios right here. We got some snail vats in a settlement. A snail vat settlement. I knew of this because I know that this is where the ancient world got its purple dye. These snails. I forget what the snails are called, but that's where they got all their purple dye. It was a very expensive and time-consuming thing to get the dye from these snails, and it made it a very hot commodity in the ancient world. We've got this nice glass blower here. It's a whole bunch of new settlement add-ons with the building trees, and it makes more settlements. It makes certain settlements more important than others. You have control of Edessa, then you get control of Edessa, then you get control of this silk trader right here, and that could get you a lot of nice money for 100 wealth from local commerce and 40 textiles. It makes resources in this game a lot more interesting and a lot more useful than it was before. It was just nothing. Who cares? It was a whole lot of nothing. Man, when this game first released, it was an alpha. It was an alpha stage, and now it's just, it feels like a real game. It feels like a full game. If this game had came out last year when I pre-ordered it and I first played it, If this Emperor Edition was the one I played, then I would have been so happy. It's still got some things that kind of rubs me the wrong way, but for the most part, I would have been happy, and I would have loved it. Happy Giorgio all day long. Got a pit mine over here, making some fat stacks. And man, it's just, they just ran that shit out the door, didn't they? A whole bunch of cool stuff. If we look out here, we can see a whole lot of different changes they did to some of the regions. They got all that's Macedonian, that's Achaia. They've changed up some stuff in Dacia. Let's look at that really quick. They've added some settlements and moved around others. I'm pretty sure there was a settlement right here, but they moved stuff around all over the map. They've added a new settlement in Italy. I don't think that was there before. They've got new I'm pretty sure Mauritania has been changed a little bit. We got Judea. They're not a part of Nabatea anymore. Judea has been split up from Nabatea, so now Jerusalem has walls, which is good. Jerusalem should have walls, and Tyros is a part of it. I don't know if I like that. I would rather all this area just be a part of Syria like it's supposed to be. But it's more accurate, I suppose. We got Palmyra, because that was a real region. It was a region Mark Antony was marching to put down because there was a Palmyran rebellion, I think. And this area is a part of Syria now, and a whole lot of little changes with the regions and stuff all over the place. Little add-ons, places moved around, places added. I still think this whole area feels empty. I really think 2 or 3 extra settlements should be added across this area to make this place just feel more filled up. It just feels so empty, this whole area. And the same thing with Greece. Greece just feels empty. I really wish there was 2 or 3 more settlements added in this whole area. The rest of it, I don't really have much of a problem, but those 2 areas, I hate that there are so few settlements. I wish they would add Raphia here, and just some other little things. Maybe, I think that was Damascus, and they changed it a little bit, but that's still in the main campaign. Yeah, they just add Damascus and just pushed Palmyra up here a little bit and add Damascus down here. It's a whole bunch of little things. I feel like this whole area, ever since I played the Grand campaign, just feels empty to me. I really wish they would add a few more settlements in that area. And hopefully they do in future patches, or give the modders the abilities to add regions themselves. I really hope they give them that ability. Over here they've split up Magna Graecia. There's no more Magna Graecia. This is the province of Italia, province of Latium, and we got the province of Sicily. And we got Syracuse here. Syracuse now has walls. We got a 3rd region inside Sicily. We got Agrigentum. We got Panormus. Very cool. I love how they split up Sicily, so now Syracuse has the big Syracusian walls, which they should have. The campaign is pretty fun so far. I'm having a lot of fun playing it. I'm fighting a lot of battles. It's pretty tough. They got a whole new expansionism penalty. That you expand too much, you get an expansionism penalty that makes people not like you so much. Yeah, I got minus 25 expansionism. I don't know how many more settlements I need to conquer in order to get that higher. I don't know. And do client states add in that expansionism? I don't know. I hope not. Thrace is starting to get pissed off at me. They're a client state. Well, I have a lot of client states. Pontus was a client state, but Galatia got pissed off at him and wanted to declare war. And I thought Galatia was more powerful, so I sided with Galatia. I don't want to declare war on Pontus and take their stuff because they're allied with Armenia, and I want Armenia to stay on my good side. They're a client state of Antony as well. Had a whole lot of little changes here and there. Diplomacy is still not great. Diplomacy is still in this game. Pretty much, I was scared for a long time, hoping that Octavian and Lepidus wouldn't declare war on me. But now I've played a few turns, and I don't think they ever will declare war on me. This is the kind of game where there are 2 types of Rome 2 campaigns. There's one type where everyone declares war on you, and you'll never get peace whatsoever. And there's a campaign where no one will ever declare war on you, and if you declare war on them, they'll always ask you for peace again and again and again and again. That's the kind of campaigns I see so many of the times in Rome 2, and that's really disappointing. It doesn't matter how many, I don't even know how many Parthian armies I've destroyed by now. but I've slaughtered thousands of Parthians, and they won't make peace with me. They just won't make any peace, and it's so infuriating. I really hope Armenia takes these two, because they used to have this stuff, and then Parthia took it back, and I need Armenia to stop being bitches, and they need to push into Parthia already. Still got some of the annoyances of Rome 2, but I like a whole lot of the stuff they did. We've got the whole new diplomacy system. We got the politics a whole different. We got a semicircle of senators, like a senate house. You gain influence, and with every influence you gain, you get more of this stuff. You get +1 research, +10 research, and you get another influence, so you get +15 research. These don't stack, but it just gets better and better and better. And if you go down, then you start getting minus, minus, minus. So you need to keep your influence up. And if you have too much influence and the other houses don't have enough, then you could spark a civil war. Or if they have too much and you don't have enough, it could be a civil war. It's a balancing act now with the whole politics civil war thing. This thing has not raised yet. I'm not sure if there are civil wars in this campaign, because you basically are fighting a civil war. You're fighting Antony and Lepidus. So, yeah, I don't think there is a civil war in the Augustus campaign. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure, because I haven't seen this thing raise up. Like, I'm assuming I should have. But it makes all these characters a little more likable. It makes you care about the characters a little bit more. Not a whole lot more, not like a family tree would, but it makes you care about them a little bit more, and I like it a whole lot. I really like what they do with the politics. It makes this whole thing far more interesting than it was. And before, it was not interesting whatsoever. And civil wars, they are very interesting. You could have a fat stack of your army by another house, and he's conquering all of this shit. Then he decides he doesn't want to fucking rule. He doesn't want to stand by you anymore. So he rebels, and that big pumped up army rebels, and maybe all these settlements he conquered rebels with him. And you could have a big civil war, and that's a really cool add-on that they put with this patch in the politics system. So politics basically 100 times better than it was. We got Persians over here trying to threaten Hatra. I'm gonna have to take my army out, destroy these guys. I do not like Persians threatening Hatra. They're in the fort, so I'm worried about attacking them. This is my Mark Antony campaign. I've got a pretty far into it so far. I'm trying to stay at a defensive position right now and just trying to build up what I have, build up my infrastructure, see if I can get up to plus $10,000 every turn. And then maybe I'll start expanding a little bit more. After I take Ethiopia is the last thing I want to just conquer, but before I just sit here and just expand my infrastructure. Yeah, they got a lot of Eastern spearmen, horse skirmishers. Horse skirmishers are far more useful in this game. In multiplayer, horse skirmishers are very useful to take out enemy cavalry, because their missile damage is very deadly. They're very mobile. They're far more useful than they've ever been in any of the other patches. Got some mercenary Persian archers. Problem is, units can hold so much longer, and if they're going to be in that fort, then that's just going to be me slamming my legionnaires up to their eastern spearmen, and them laying down heavy fire of tons of spears and rocks and arrows down on my soldiers, while I'm trying to bust through their eastern spearmen. They will break eventually, but I'll get a lot of losses by those missile units. So, something to be wary of. I got some garrison armies up here. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this campaign. I'm sure a lot of you are starting to play this campaign too, and see all the fun stuff they got added in. Whole lot of changes to the UI, whole lot of changes to unit balancing, a whole lot of changes to the map, the settlement map in the Augustus campaign. I mean, I don't think there are a lot of changes in the Grand Campaign map, but hopefully there'll be a mod soon that'll add in the Grand Campaign era into the Augustus map, because overall I like this map far more than the other one. Although I do miss Damascus. I know Palmyra's accurate. I miss Damascus. So yeah, that is the Emperor edition of Rome 2, the new patch that added a whole bunch of cool stuff. Whole bunch of cool stuff, and I'm sure a lot of you are starting to play it. Have fun with it. I am having a lot of fun with it myself, and I think I'm just gonna, in this video, just get back to it, because I got a lot more to conquer. Augustus needs to be put in his place. Or Octavian, I should say. He's not Augustus yet. But maybe it will be Mark Antony who becomes Augustus. We shall see. Remember to stick around the Rogue Empire for all the latest Rome 2 news and updates. I'm your graphics rogue, and I will see you next time. Peace.